has never been better than today. And those who embarked in that topic 20, 25, 30 years ago would not have thought how dominant this business case right now is. And therefore, India and the European Union are closely aligned in the fight against climate change and, of course, have understood how precious solar energy is. Both India and the European Union have embarked on their way to net zero. Europe wants to be climate neutral by 2050 and India by 2070. But in addition, India has committed to cover half of its energy demand from renewable sources already by 2030. This is amazingly good news. This is very ambitious. Congratulations, but it's the right way to go. In Europe, we've set ourselves similar goals, so we know how difficult it is to get there, but you have to be ambitious. In these times where climate change is showing us every day what happens if we don't work against it and if we don't come up with innovative, affordable, and effective solutions. And both India and Europe know that solar energy will play a decisive role in that. So the need for clean energy was never more obvious than today. Indeed, in India, people suffer from extreme weather. I read that the March this year was the hottest March since 122 years. But I can tell you we have the same experience, of course, in the European Union. Droughts, last summer, deadly floodings, wildfires, hurricanes in regions where we never, ever had these extreme weather phenomena. And you all know this is the beginning of what climate change shows us, of extreme weather conditions that will become more intense if we don't act decisively. And as we know that climate change is man-made, that's bad news. We've done it, but it's also good news. We can fix it if it's man-made. So you know that the Authority in Science of Climate Change, the IPCC, has just said that to prevent the worst effects of climate change, global emissions of CO2 would have to peak within the next 3 years. So at the same time, our demand for energy is drastically rising. You were describing it. And in India, energy use doubled in the last 2 decades, and it will continue to grow. I want to say this is first and foremost good news, because it shows that India's economy is doing well, with all the benefit that it brings to citizens all across the wonderful and vibrant country you have here. So it's good news. But it also, of course, shows the urgency for the transformation to clean and sustainable ways of doing business and using that energy. Because we all know that this energy, this additional energy that you will need, has to be clean, has to be green. We can do it. There are options. You touched on many of them. But it needs an enormous amount of determination on the political part, of investment on the public and on the private side. So we have to step up our efforts in the energy transformation, and initiatives like the International Solar Alliance are key to this. There's a second reason why the switch to homegrown clean energies is so important in these days. And of course, I'm thinking about the war that Russia has unleashed against Ukraine. For us Europeans, it is a stark reminder that our dependency on Russian fossil fuels is not sustainable. Because how can you do business with someone who openly threatens Europe and wages war against one of your closest neighbors? So our transition to homegrown, renewable energy is not only good for the environment, but it also becomes a strategic investment in security. Energy policy is also security policy, because every kilowatt hour of electricity we generate from solar, wind, hydropower or biomass reduces our dependency on fossil fuels in general. So this is why the European Commission will present next month a new solar strategy of the European Union as part of Repower EU. We can discuss it later on in the round table if it is of interest. And here too, India and the European Union are on the same path. Prime Minister Modi has announced that India should be energy independent before it celebrates 100 years of its independence as a country. This would be in 2047. So it's in our common interest that this independence of fossil fuel that comes from abroad is a transformation into renewable and clean energy. As you know, the European Commission has always been and will always be a strong supporter of the International Solar Alliance since it was created at the COP21 in Paris in 2015. And I commend the work that the Alliance is doing to develop new technologies. This is amazing what you're doing. You're scaling up solar applications for agriculture, extremely needed. You are accelerating the production of green hydrogen with solar energy. You spoke about it, and we can go in depth in our round table. You're capturing the infinite energy of the sun and making it to all available and affordable. There will not be a green transition if it is not a just transition, if we are not able to leave nobody behind, but to take everybody along. So what you're doing is innovation put at the service of people. And I'm really interested to hear from you, from business, from you who are active in the solar energy sector, about your experiences, but also, of course, about your vision. The opportunities, the difficulties, let's talk about it. The EU-India Clean Energy and Climate Partnership was adopted in 2016. As you know, we discuss a large variety of important issues there, be it the smart grids or storage, the clean energy financing, our cooperation on green hydrogen, a big topic for Europe. But my visit also shows me, and all the discussions that we have, that there is so much untapped potential. So we can do so much together to improve the situation. We need to step up our cooperation. We can learn from each other how to finance, promote, and deploy solar energy, how to secure global supply chains, big topics since the pandemic, when we learned what it means when all of a sudden global supply chains, because of the pandemic, were interrupted with all the consequences. And the material, of course, needed for solar panels. How to identify the best areas to place those panels, fields, land, or rooftops, etc., etc. Together, we can indeed increase the economies of scale and scope. Dear Minister, you raised the topic. The economy of scales and scopes in tapping the power of the sun. We should do this through the International Solar Alliance. And there's a second point that we should have a look at, and this is mission innovation. Mission innovation is a global initiative of 22 countries and the European Union. Together, they represent more than 90% of global government investment in clean energy research and innovation. With mission innovation, we want to accelerate the innovation in clean energy everywhere on our planet. And India is a key contributor to this common effort. The ministerial in India will be next year. It will be an important milestone because mission innovation is the place where our cooperation with India and other partners is moving the frontier for clean energy. So as I've spoken about the untapped potential, here's the place to really draw on it and to develop the common projects that will forge the path forward to the future. I want to raise a last topic because you rightly so mentioned the potential of the African continent. And indeed, there are massive investment needs that we discovered also after or during the pandemic. Not only in the European Union, not only in India, but also around the globe in the developing countries. And therefore the European Union has developed Global Gateway, a 300 billion heavy investment initiative where the focus lies on green initiatives. Of course, there's second focus on technology, the digitalization, and the third one on resilience, but the main focus is on the Green Deal. And here 150 billion are tailored for Africa to indeed do exactly what you said. They have an abundance of natural resources for green energy, but they need the investment, and it's in our common interest, not only to develop, but also to store or to transport these clean energies. So also here to work intensively together, to understand the signs of time and to take this potential that is out there and really to do something about it, what is critical for our fight against climate change. That is the task of today. So there's much we can achieve together, boost our economies. For us, the European Green Deal is our new growth strategy, because we know if there's a future for the economy, it's going to be a circular economy. If there's a future for energy, and we need energy, it has to be clean energy. If there's a future for a way to produce and to consume, we have to change it into the patterns of a green transformation, but this is our new green and growth model that we believe in. The International Solar Alliance is emblematic of the kind of partnership we need to make this change happen, because we all have our place under the sun, and we will do whatever it takes to keep this planet livable. Thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to the discussion.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. May I now request dignitaries to proceed towards the head table from the left-hand side.